Welcome to this explainer. Right now, there is a massive tension playing out in boardrooms and IT departments literally all over the world. We're talking about the clash between throwing up an iron curtain to completely ban AI versus the strategy of safely governing it inside a secure environment. It's a fascinating technical shift and honestly a huge cultural one too. Let's dive in.
Look, we have to start with this staggering number, 41%. According to recent enterprise research, 41% of employees are using unauthorized AI tools completely behind IT's back. And they aren't doing this to be malicious. They're doing it because of extreme task pressure. They just need to get their work done faster, so they're turning to these unsanctioned large language models totally in the shadows.
And here is exactly why that matters and why every business leader absolutely needs to pay attention. When a data breach involves this ungoverned shadow AI, it costs organizations an average of $670,000 more than a standard data breach. To put that into perspective, the financial penalty for just losing visibility over your company's data flows is, well, it's absolutely massive. Section 1. The Shadow AI Crisis. Unmonitored AI Use. As you can see, shadow AI is not just some rogue IT issue. It's spreading like wildfire across critical business functions. Product and design are leading the pack at 58%, and engineering is right behind at 47%. But the real shocker? Legal departments are at 39%. That means highly sensitive, confidential contracts and workflows are literally being fed into unsanctioned public AI models right now. Unbelievable, right?
Section 2. The Iron Curtain fails. Bans do not work.
So, how do companies react to this? Well, according to the ISMG Generative AI study, a huge chunk of leadership is still trying to fight this by simply saying no. 38% of business leaders and nearly half, 48%, of cybersecurity leaders actually expect to continue banning generative AI outright in their workplaces. But as industry experts like Anton Chuvakin point out, these bans just do not work. In fact, they actually cause usage to increase in all sorts of insecure ways. You aren't stopping AI. You're just pushing the behavior underground. And that multiplies the risk of data leakage, complete loss of audit trails, and opens the door to vulnerabilities like prompt injection, where malicious inputs can actually trick the AI.
So the crucial point here is comparing these two mindsets. On one side, we have the very real danger of the Iron Curtain, attempting to ban public LLMs, which only pushes use underground and leads directly to that massive $670,000 breach premium we talked about. On the flip side, we have the safety of the walled garden, providing sanctioned AI that's fully governed by your existing IT security and protected by enterprise data boundaries.
Which brings us to Section 3. Enter the walled garden, Microsoft 365 Copilot. Recognizing the total failure of outright bans, the industry is thankfully shifting. A massive 78% of cybersecurity professionals actually intend to take a walled garden or owned AI approach going forward. They realize they have to provide a safe, sanctioned alternative to stop shadow AI in its tracks.
And the safety net that makes a tool like Copilot viable for business is Enterprise Data Protection, or EDP. Under EDP, Microsoft basically acts merely as a data processor. This means your prompts and the AI's responses are fully encrypted, they stay securely inside your own tenant, and this is absolutely crucial, they are never ever used to train public LLMs.
Let's actually trace the flow of data here, kind of like a roadmap. First, you have the user prompt. Second, that prompt goes through Microsoft Graph for grounding, which just means it securely gathers your organization's specific emails, chats, and documents to get the right context. Third, it securely hits the LLM for processing, and finally, it returns a grounded, context-aware response. All of this happens securely locked inside your Microsoft 365 boundary. Moving to Section 4, Intra-ID Bounds, Graph and Permissions. Okay, so the absolute biggest question executives ask when evaluating this tech is this: can Copilot bypass a user's permissions? Like, could it accidentally expose the CEO's private emails or confidential HR files to someone who definitely shouldn't see them?
The answer is a hard no. Copilot is a trusted assistant that only has the exact same keys as the user. If a user cannot search for a document in SharePoint, Copilot can't read it either. Simple as that. But actually, there is a catch. The real risk here isn't the AI hacking your system. It's unmanaged, overly broad permissions that are already sitting dormant in your tenant.
Enter ID controls this access strictly. As we see broken down here, delegated permissions ensure Copilot is limited exclusively to what the signed-in user is authorized to see. Application permissions operate without a user and require strict admin consent to prevent overprivileged access. And privileged identity management, or PIM, provides just-in-time elevated access so people don't just have standing admin rights 24/7. Copilot leans entirely on this existing architecture.
Section 5. Governing the AI frontier. So, what's the game plan? You need to take these immediate governance steps before you just unleash AI on your organization. You've got to identify your high-value content and confirm exactly who owns it. You need to rip out stale access and conduct thorough access reviews. You literally must aggressively apply least privilege to administrative roles and strictly monitor admin consent for third-party apps. Because, look, if your permissions are messy today, Copilot is just going to make it incredibly easy for users to find things they shouldn't have access to tomorrow.
I'll leave you with this final thought to ponder. Since Copilot operates exactly within the boundaries you've already set, the question isn't really whether the AI itself is secure. The real question is your underlying enterprise data access actually clean, governed, and truly ready for the AI era? Thank you for joining me for this explainer. I hope it gave you some powerful insights to take back to your team. Let's get out there and secure that data.